What if your biggest problem isn't the world around you, but the conversation happening inside your own head? Michael Singer's The Untethered Soul isn't about fixing your life. It's about fixing the thing that's watching your life and realizing that the observer is free if you just let it be. Today, we're breaking down The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Here's what makes this book so dangerous. It suggests your suffering is optional, and that most of us are just too attached to our own stories to see it. Let's get into it. Takeaway 1: you are not your thoughts. You're the one watching your thoughts. There's a massive difference, and Singer spends the first quarter of the book proving it to you. Most of us wake up and immediately plug into a non-stop commentary track, that voice that narrates everything, judges everything, rehashes yesterday, worries about tomorrow. We think we are that voice. But here's the thing: if you can observe the voice, you can't be it. The action step is simple and disorienting. Spend today just noticing, not changing anything, just watching that inner narrator. When it says, "I messed that up," notice you're aware of it being said. That gap, that space between you and the voice, that's the freedom Singer is pointing at. Takeaway 2: the pain you're feeling right now isn't actually happening right now. It's a recording that's still playing. Singer calls this samskaras, mental impressions, imprints. When something hard happens, it doesn't just happen once. You relive it thousands of times in your mind. The event ended. The memory is what keeps hurting you. Think about an embarrassing thing you did 5 years ago. The original event lasted a few minutes. The suffering? It's still going. That's because every time you think about it, your nervous system reactivates as if it's happening now. Here's what you do. Next time you catch yourself replaying something, literally ask yourself, is this happening right now, or is it a memory playing? Usually it's a memory, and memories can't hurt you unless you believe they are still real. Takeaway 3: your heart either opens or closes based on what you focus on. There's no neutral. Singer uses a powerful metaphor. Your heart is like a door. Every time something difficult happens and you brace against it, you're closing the door a little. Do that 1,000 times and that door is locked shut. The opposite is also true. Every time you let something flow through you without contracting against it, you're opening. That's not spiritual fluffy stuff. That's what actually happens neurologically. Openness literally changes your nervous system. Most of us believe openness is weakness. If you open to pain, it'll destroy you. But Singer's point is darker than that. Closedness already is destroying you. A closed heart is a dead heart. It just takes a while to notice. Your action: think of one thing you're braced against. One person, one memory, one fear you're holding tightly. What would happen if you just let it flow through instead? Takeaway 4: surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means giving over, letting the moment be what it is instead of what you think it should be. This is where Singer loses most people. Surrender sounds weak. It sounds like lying down. It's actually the opposite. The person fighting reality is the one with no power. The person allowing reality is the one who can actually respond to it. Singer gives an example. You're in traffic and you're tense, honking, angry. What are you actually doing? You're suffering right now so that you'll get somewhere a minute earlier. Meanwhile, the moment in the car, the life that's happening, is being sacrificed for an idea about the future. When you surrender to the traffic being there, something shifts. You're still moving. You're just not dying inside. Your action: identify one situation you're resisting this week. A meeting, a relationship, a circumstance. Instead of fighting it, just let it be. See what actually happens when you stop investing energy in how it should have been different. Takeaway 5: the thoughts you believe in create the person you become. Not because thoughts create reality, but because beliefs create behavior, and behavior creates your actual life. Singer says it plainly: you're attached to thoughts that reinforce a limited version of who you are. I'm not a math person. I'm bad at relationships. I'm not the type to speak up. These thoughts feel true because you've lived them so many times, but Singer's point is that you chose to trust them. A thought came up once, maybe a long time ago. Someone said you were bad at math, and you decided, consciously or not, to believe it. Then every situation since then you interpreted through that belief. Of course you became bad at math. Here's the wild part: you can decide to untrust the thought right now. You don't have to fight it or convince yourself it's false. You just stop treating it as true. Your action, write down one belief about yourself that limits you. Not a big life thing, something specific. Now, for one day, act as if you don't have that limit. See what happens. Takeaway 6. You can't think your way out of your problems because the thinking mind is often the problem. You have to feel your way through. Singer says emotions aren't meant to be analyzed, they're meant to be experienced and released. When you feel anxiety, the mind immediately wants to figure it out, solve it, control it. That's when the anxiety gets locked inside you. The alternative is to turn toward the feeling. Where is it in your body? What does it feel like? Can you just be with it instead of fixing it? This sounds mystical. It's actually just how the nervous system works. Emotions are designed to move through you. They get stuck when you fight them, analyze them, judge them. The thing that releases them is to let them actually be felt. Your action, next time you feel something uncomfortable, don't immediately reach for your phone or a distraction. Sit with it for 2 minutes. Notice where it lives in your body. Don't try to change it. Just observe it. Usually it will move and settle on its own. Takeaway 7. The energy you waste defending yourself is the same energy you could use to grow. Every wall is a choice. Singer argues that most of our energy goes to self-protection. Protecting our ego, our story, our image. We defend our past decisions so we don't have to admit we were wrong. We defend our beliefs so we don't have to question them. That energy is massive, and it's completely unavailable for creation, learning, change. Think about someone you know who's constantly defending themselves. How much are they actually growing? Now think about someone who laughs at their mistakes. How much room do they have to try new things? The person who doesn't need to be right is the person who can actually become better, because they're not spending all their energy protecting yesterday. Your action, for one day when you're tempted to defend yourself, instead just say, "You might be right." And then move on. Notice how much mental energy that frees up. That's the energy Singer is talking about. Takeaway 8. Bliss isn't something you achieve. It's what you experience when you stop blocking it with your resistance to what is. This is Singer's radical core idea. Your natural state, the ground of your being, is contentment. Not excitement, not achievement, but a baseline sense that it's okay to be alive right now. That some part of you is okay no matter what's happening. But most of us have built such elaborate resistance to the present moment that we've buried that baseline so deep we forgot it was there. You don't need to become a better person to access it. You don't need to meditate for 10,000 hours. You just need to stop tensing against what's already here. It's like the difference between sitting underwater struggling to get air and sinking to the bottom and realizing the pressure is just pressure. Once you stop fighting the pressure, the panic dissolves. The pressure is still there. But you're okay. Your action, pick one moment today, maybe it's driving, maybe it's your first coffee, and just notice what it's like to be okay right now. Not changing anything, not trying to be happy, just allowing this moment to be fine. Takeaway 9. The relationships in your life are mirrors. You can't fix anyone, but you can fix your reaction to them, and that changes everything. Singer says people come into our lives to trigger our edges, the places we're still defended, still blocked. Most of us think the relationship is the problem. The other person is difficult, impossible, wrong. But Singer's point is cold. You're reacting the way you're reacting because somewhere inside you, you believe their behavior means something about you, so you're defending. The person who can stay open, curious, undefended even when someone else is difficult, that person has access to real intimacy. And that person changes the dynamic entirely. You can't control what they do, but you can control whether you close or open. And whoever you become in that moment determines everything that follows. Your action, identify one relationship that triggers you. When you're with them, what are you tense against? What are you protecting? Just notice it. That awareness is where change starts. Takeaway 10. The untethered soul is the one that experiences life instead of experiencing a constant inner commentary about life. It's freedom, and it's here right now if you stop defending against it. Singer's entire philosophy comes down to this. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You just need to stop pulling the strings so tight. The person you become when you stop defending is already you. You're not becoming someone new. You're just removing the armor around the person who was always here. And here's the thing that makes this book hit so hard. It works. You don't need to read another chapter. You don't need a better strategy. You just need to be aware of the voice, let it play without believing it, and notice that something deeper is already at peace. That's the untethered soul. It's you, right now, beneath all the noise. Your action, this week, every time you notice you're contracted, defended, or fighting reality, pause, breathe. Remember that beneath that contraction, something is already okay. Trust it. That's the untethered soul beginning to wake up. That's the untethered soul. Michael Singer has written a book that sounds mystical but is actually neurological. Your suffering is real, but it's usually a choice. And the moment you see that, really see it, you're already free. Subscribe to Audiobook Bay for weekly breakdowns of books that change how you work and lead.